defense. They haven't had very many good starts to games. That was a message from Jon Scheyer to his team. The Blue Devils begin with a basketball on a Friday night here in Durham. Same starting five for the Blue Devils. Taking on Niagara tonight for the first time ever, and then Sunday brings the first ever matchup against Howard. This is Caleb Foster for three.
I guess they're going to start out better tonight.
Starting five for Niagara. They're coming off a 6-point loss to Lemoyne, a team Jim knows something about up in Syracuse.
Nice little school in Syracuse. That's not a good loss for Niagara.
No. But a new beginning today. They'll take on Howard tomorrow in the second game of the Brotherhood run. Justin Page with a shot clock winding down. Trenton Walters forced to fire, catches iron, but it doesn't fall, and the rebound for Gungba.
That's really a good first sequence by Duke. They didn't allow the dribble penetration, and that's what Niagara's really looking to do, is attack inside on the dribble.
Officials tonight, Lee Cassell, Isaac Barnett, and Kellen Milliner. Says a lot that Cameron Bruiser, I felt like he had an off night on Tuesday, and he finished with 18 and 10 against the Jayhawks.
Yeah, that's pretty much his off night.
Boozer, excellent position, and before the shot, the foul goes against Justin Hawkins.
This is what you were talking about, Jim, when you have your two big guys averaging almost 7 assists, more than 6 assists a game, almost 7.
That's almost not only unusual, it's almost never done.
Foster passes up the shot, brings it inside, kicks it to Boozer. Evans hits the cutting Cameron, and he's rejected. What a block!
That might be the first shot he's had blocked in a few years.
Will Short swats it, and then Page gets his own rebound after the miss.
Someday in the NBA, when Boozer's up there, that kid's going to be talking about that block shot.
Yeah.
Everybody he knows.
Block is going to live forever. 5 to shoot. Walters kicks. Prudhomme at the buzzer. Can't fire and hit. Blue Devils averaging over 10 made threes per game so far this season. And they've done a pretty good job taking care of the basketball. Only 8 turnovers in the win Tuesday up at Madison Square Garden. Cameron Boozer finds his first points.
That's the difference with his father. He makes that jump shot. His father was mostly around the basket. And Carlos was a great player, too.
Carlos in the house again, as is Coach K.
Duke has a tremendous size advantage at all the positions, and Niagara's looking to drive and kick out for threes, but it's just very difficult.
Walters knocks it down and gets the Purple Eagles on the board.
And that's what they have. They have to make some shots to have any chance in this game, and that's a good shot against Duke.
Blue Devils were down 10 last Friday night against Indiana State. Early Gungba taken down and free throw.
That they look for is, are you really making a play on the ball? And he never got anywhere close to the ball. He just grabbed him by the arm, and there was a lot of force there. The definition of a flagrant foul is contact that's excessive and or unnecessary, and that certainly looked excessive to me.
Probably in today's world, in the old Big East days, that might not have been a foul.
That would not have been a foul at all. Yes, I understand that.
I can see him calling that, but it's borderline.
Gungba drains the free throws, and Duke will keep the ball. And Jon Scheyer told us a little over an hour ago, the 17-minute mark, his 4 subs were coming in off the bench.
And here they are.
So Cameron Boozer stays. Jim's old big man Malik Brown is in the game, along with Darren Harris, Nicholas Semenya, and Caden Boozer.
Malik Brown's a really team player. He does all the little things you love from a player. Screen and rebound, do the dirty work stuff.
Caden Boozer from the corner.
That was great ball movement.
And they're going to press a little bit, which this could make it It could help Niagara in a way that they get some easier shots, but it's going to speed them up too.
Niagara's first turnover. Cameron kicks it to his brother. Caden gives it back. Malik Brown tips the rebound, but to the big man for Niagara, Will Short.
But one of the problems for Niagara is Justin Hawkins is their leading scorer, number 0, and he does most of his damage on the inside. He's going to have a hard time on the inside tonight.
Trying to take it inside on Boozer. Page kicks it out. And the entry pass looking for Short. Knocked away by Brown. Just over 4 minutes gone. First half in Durham. Duke by 7.
GSSI profile complete.
How much sweat are you willing to lose?
Move it quickly. They get a wide open jump shot.
Great passer, big guy. That he's willing to pass. It's not just that you can pass, it's that you want to pass. And that's not easy to instill in a young player.
It's been almost 2 decades since someone had numbers like Cameron Boozer through 5 games in ACC play. More defense leading to offense, and it's Darren Harris with a hand in his face.
That's what he does. That's what he's in the game to do. He has now attempted
a lot of threes.
Well, that's what he's in there to do. He's attempted 19 shots. 17 of them have been threes.
And he's shooting better than 50% from beyond the arc. Blue Devils 3 of 4 from deep. Page into traffic. No chance. Hamenya outlet. Cam Boozer didn't notice the double team, and it will stay Duke ball.
Yeah, this is what Malik Brown does. He just makes plays for you on both ends. Kind of gets up in the air, but blocks it anyway. Quick release on the 3-ball too. That's big time. You're a shooter. Get it off quick.
Now, when you get it down the court that fast, the defense has no chance.
Block shots lead to baskets.
Inbound pass tonight. Jim, what do you remember about recruiting Malik Brown?
You know, he was a quiet kid. Not many people recruited him in Virginia, right near Virginia. But he played 2 years. He was a really good player for us and just does all the little things you have to have done. And a great kid.
Harris fouled this time.
Well, they hit him on the one he made, and they kind of let it go, I guess. And they did the same thing again. They didn't let this one go.
ACC Network men's basketball matchups. We'll be right back here at Cameron on Sunday for Howard and Duke. Monday night, Louisville Cardinals up to number 6 in the country, taking on the Eastern Michigan Eagles. That's Monday night at 7. Both games available on the all-new ESPN app as well as live here on the network.
Harris, we talked about his shooting ability. Jim, at free throw he missed. He was 7 for 7 coming in, and so it's still early in the season, but he hadn't missed a free throw before that one.
At least we didn't jinx him. We
didn't say anything.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. Not that that's...
Who would ever blame you for jinxing somebody like that?
Oh, there's a multitude of people.
10 straight points for the Blue Devils. These 10-0 runs have been a common trait for Duke so far this season.
And it's this team that he substituted, that John Shire substituted with 17 minutes left in the half, particularly Malik Brown being able to get out there on the point of the press.
It's just a hard job for Niagara to get a shot, let alone make a shot.
Walters beats the crowd's buzzer, but can't get it to go. Good hustle on the offensive glass by Kabea Shabangu, and that leads to a second 3 for the Purple Eagles. Walters has them both. Harris to Hemenya, and he was out of bounds.
There's nothing worse than being out of bounds when you catch the ball, because this court has been the same for 100 since Naismith put the peach baskets up. That's where the out of bounds has been. And it just, as a coach, it just is crazy.
Does it still bother you?
It bothers me, yes.
No, it doesn't bother me. Why would you think that?
I'm pretty obvious, you know what I think.
An air ball from the Croatian Vica Zanki. Harris, quick release. Zanki rips down the rebound.
And Harris has no doubt what his job is.
Yeah.
I'm shooting these.
And, you know, that would be a pretty good job to have. You just go in the game and shoot threes.
And he's going to get threes when he's out there at Duke, because they've got a lot of guys that are going to draw more attention.
You guys feel Duke has approached the start of this game with the right attitude, the right mentality?
100%. You know, everybody says, well, it's a nothing game, this and that. They're playing just like they did against Kansas and Texas. And that's a great thing to have. You don't want your team to come out here and say, well, this is not a big game. You want them to come out and play like this, and that's how they're playing. And it helps to have extra guys who now get in there and they're fired up to show that they can play more. So that's a good thing.
Cameron kicks it. Sarr back in the game. Here's Isaiah Evans. Caden Boozer. Oh, Gongba on the glass. Hit hard. Some ball, but a lot of arm, too. Gongba going back to the line.
Why does it take them so long to blow the whistle? He just didn't. He waited until, I mean, he was fouled right there, and he just blew the whistle now. So, I mean, it's a foul. I think sometimes they think, well, if he makes it, we'll let it go. But they can't. I don't think you can ref that way.
Number 2 on Kabea Shabangu.
Well, Gungba, he had a very limited role on a very good team last season. And he's really done a nice job. He's playing, you know, he's number 3 on the team in minutes played. So he's been in there. He's shooting the ball very well. Of course, he's 0 for 7 from 3. And I think if I were John Shire, I'd tell him not to shoot anymore. But he's rebounding the ball very well. He's shooting free throws well. He's had a really good start to this season.
At least 9 points scored in every game so far for Gungba. And he's 4 for 4 from the line so far tonight. Only the 3rd home game of the season here at Cameron for Duke, not including the exhibition they played. Here's a steal for Cameron Boozer. Leading the break. Isaiah Evans, cash money.
How many times does your power forward get it, steal it, rebound it, go down the court with it? He can rebound it or block the shot or steal the ball and then make the pass for the 3. Not many power forwards.
No, not many, but Jim, here at Duke, that's sort of old hat. That's what Cooper Flagg did.
Well, he wasn't a power forward, no. He did all those things, but he was never a power forward. This guy's a legitimate power forward. He's got a midget on him now. I think this is going in there.
Yes, indeed.
that wasn't hard to read.
Well, Walters is 5'9".
And that might be generous.
Yeah. So Boozer's at least a foot taller than he is.
Well, in reality, Niagara's got 2 good shots, and they made them both, and they're down 16.
Short fadeaway goes.
Well, short doesn't give you a lot of offense, and most of the offense it gives you is right around the basket, and that's where Niagara's had a tough time getting tonight, so that's got to be an encouraging sign.
Sarr misfires, but the rebound finds Cam Boozer. Duke with its starting 5 back out there. Gungba triple teamed. Not a bad defensive possession here from Niagara. And they get a stop. 9 minutes gone, first half. Oh, and Sabino was looking at his coach, and he wasn't looking at his teammate. And it's a Niagara turnover. Cam Boozer has had a special start to his Duke career. averaging almost 5 assists per game. And Evans. And Jim, you've known him, what, since he was 14, 15 years old?
About 14, he came in and we talked about what he wanted to do in my office, and we're talking about school, and he's talking about, I'm going to coach at 14, so he knew what he wanted to do.
2-year captain, 3-year starter, spent 3 years as a teammate of John Shire's. And it was a special homecoming. Today's the first time that Greg was able to bring his children, Preston, Whitney, and Landon, to Cameron Indoor. This was at shoot around earlier today, posing with his wife Megan and Coach K.
Figure he's got an appointment somewhere, Jim? He's checking his watch.
No, he's checking. It's probably past his bedtime. That's the problem. He's got one of his 100 grandchildren with him, I'm sure. Yes, he does. One of the twins. But, yeah, he comes to the Duke games, but not a lot. I think it's because Paulus is here. I think he's coming Sunday. Malik Brown inside.
Yes, indeed.
And that was a great pass by Evans. And Evans last year was like that three-point specialist, but this year he's done a much better job driving the ball to the basket, getting to the free throw line.
Well, and he's, again, Coach Schreier's talking about, you want to go to the NBA, it's not just shooting. You got to play everything. You got to be a basketball player. You got to do everything. And he's doing that.
Cameron Boozer, the steal and the stop. Well, through one quarter of this game, we're basically on pace for something like 100 to 32 or something like that. We'll see how things transpire. Cameron Boozer, 3 of 6, got a couple assists, a couple of steals. More full court pressure from the Blue Devils. And it's going to be Duke basketball.
Now, clearly Duke has an advantage both in terms of size and talent. But sometimes you get a team with that kind of advantage. They don't play hard enough to make it operational. But, boy, Duke is really getting after it today.
Playing hard.
Very different story than a week ago when they were down 10 against the Sycamores through a few minutes. Evans outside for Foster. Clock at 5. Foster pivots and earns free throws.
Boy, Griffith did everything you had to do until he fouled him at the end. He did a great job keeping him out of the lane. He did a great job keeping him from getting to all the way to the basket, but he fouled him on a very tough shot.
At the end of the day, the best player wins. And, you know, it's just got the best players. And Niagara's doing what they just can't turn it over like they're turning it over. That just makes it gives them points that they can't afford to give them.
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, the ACC Huddle crew will be in Atlanta to get you ready for another full day of football with a 2-hour pregame show. Game previews, expert analysis, featured stories, and more right here on ACCN and the all-new ESPN app. It was a treat to visit with Wes Durham and Steve Adazio and Dana Boyle. We were arriving to Cameron right as they were arriving to meet with Coach Diaz and his staff as they get ready to call Duke Carolina football over in Chapel Hill tomorrow. Duke by 19. And Malik Brown gets his hands on another pass. A nice outlet to Jimena. Foster passes up the shot. Jimena will take it. And it's going to be an offensive foul on Harris. Waving off the shot attempt, and it's Niagara ball.
Well, Jimena likes that because now he doesn't get a missed shot.
That's right.
Oh, that's good. That's a good foul for him.
They called it on Foster, not Harris.
It is hard to get the ball past Malik Brown.
He's really good defensively. He's good, great hands. I think he gets his hands on more balls than anybody in the country. He's just always right around the ball.
But 2 years ago, he led the conference in steals.
Yeah. Well, when he was a freshman at Syracuse, he was second or third as a freshman. He just has a knack for getting his hands on the basketball.
Why wasn't he a bigger recruit, Jim? Why do you think it took a while for everybody to realize?
Well, he didn't score, a lot in high school. And
3 from the corner, Justin Page.
That has to be it because he physically is a very, very good basketball player.
On the page, I said before that Hawkins was the leading scorer. He's not. Hawkins is the leading inside scorer, but that's the first basket for Page, who is, and no problem scoring for the Blue Devils.
Second three for Foster.
You just want Niagara to handle the ball, and then if they get some threes, make them. They can hang around and make it a little difficult.
On the drive, and a foul going against Duke here. Goes against Semenya.
Well, this is really interesting because they've got Foster and Boozer in the game at the same time. Caden Boozer, that is. So your 2 point guards playing at the same time. Penetration into the lane, get it to Brown. Brown finds the open man.
Well, I think these guys are all willing passers, and they all can play together. You can play 2 point. Sometimes it's better to play 2 point guards together. You can have a better team that way. The thing I'm seeing here that I haven't seen as much from Duke, so many more driving kicks this year. Last year, I think they drove and finished more. This year, they're kicking a lot.
By the way, that last foul they gave to Brown instead of Semenya. Both could have been called for it. Page makes a pair. He's got 5. Under 8 to play in this first half. Gungba. Defender goes down, and he will get to the line after missing the short one.
All your opponents.
Not even 5.5 games.
Yeah, that's not bad. But that's the kind of pressure that this team can put on you. They have guys who can take the ball to the basket, and then if you take that away, they've shown they've got guys who can make threes.
They're hard to defend. They're very hard to defend because they get in the lane, and if you get in front of them, they pass it out, and they got threes. Why? And they got guys that can make them, and they've got guys that can offensive rebound. So they're not an easy team to guard, and I think they're getting better because they're so young, and they got so many guys that have the potential to get better right now.
How about Gungba? 6 for 6 at the free throw line to start tonight's game.
Oh, we talked about him before the game. He's having a great year so far. It's early, but he's really doing the job they want him to do.
Made big strides. May have misdirected that shot. Rebound finds Semenya. There was a chance to take his 8th three-pointer there, and he passed it up.
Wisely. You know, when you're 0 for 7 from 3, the advice would be to get closer.
Yeah, at some point you have to say, let's not shoot that shot anymore.
Semenya to the corner for Caden Boozer. Buckets.
What a pass that was.
Really good pass, and they had a little screen help on the weak side, too. Get him wide open.
Semenya's made that type of pass, made that type of play. He's been a nice, solid role guy off the bench as a freshman.
Yeah, and it's hard for freshmen. Unless you're a Boozer, I mean, it's hard. It takes time, but he's got all the tools. It just, as the year goes along, he's going to get better, and he's going to be able to contribute more. But it's amazing when you see Bonga. Here's a guy that everybody said was going to be great. He's not playing good last year. He should leave. And he stays, and look at him now. He's a big-time player. This is why you want to stay sometimes.
You're suggesting folks should be a little more patient?
Well, it's not
2025?
It's not a bad thing. And, you know, the same thing with Foster. He stayed. He's a good player and a good team.
Harris from the wing. It goes down, but it hit the shot clock. And they're going to wave it off.
Why not? That helped.
Talk about a shooter's touch.
He really squeezes it off.
No, he's looking for threes. He's going to get it up there. He only shoots it when he has it.
This is a perfect illustration of how hard it's been for Niagara to get the ball into the lane. There's nobody in there, and now the ball doesn't go in there either.
Sarr the deflection. Semenya unable to connect. Here's Page the other way. Going right at Caden Boozer, and Gungbo is there waiting for him.
I don't think he's quite figured out that Duke is big back there, and he cannot do that. He's, you know, again, Niagara in their league, he can go to the basket and he'll get that shot up there every time, but not against these guys.
Well, he's a good shooter and he drives the ball to the basket very well, but there's just no room tonight.
That'll be a basket in his league, but not here.
Prudhomme trying to get around Harris.
That's just a great job staying in front.
Walters, it's a kick ball. It's going to reset the shot clock to 20.
I mean, to their credit, Niagara is trying, and they're moving. They're trying to move the ball. They're trying. They just can't penetrate this defense.
And Duke, they're doing such a great job. They basically are switching everything. And even a guy like Gungba, he can move his feet well enough that he can stay in front of a smaller guy.
When you can switch everything, you end up, if your big can switch, it takes the pick and roll offense out of the game. In the Olympics, when we won our first one, Chris Bosh was probably the most valuable player on our team with Kobe there, LeBron there, because Chris Bosh played center and switched and helped us to win the Olympics.
Walters looking for his third three, can't find it. Jim, were you responsible for engineering the pick and roll coverage?
I had absolutely nothing to do with it. I was the zone coach, and we didn't play zone, so I didn't have a lot to do.
Dame Sarr for three. 8 different blue like he has so far. Man, with his defensive skills and savvy and instincts, he's going to have a really promising season and career ahead.
Well, the European League that he played in is tough as heck. Men, so he should be ready for this.
Niagara breaks the pressure and then almost turns it over. Malik Brown knocks it out of bounds.
There. I mean, it's Malik Brown.
He's coming from the point all the way back, and that's something you stress when you're a pressing team, and most big guys never get there, and that'd be an open three, and that's why you don't press sometimes, because you give up open threes. He didn't let that happen.
Into the backcourt. So, Jim, back to the Olympic conversation. Tell me about the meeting where you suggested to Coach K, I think we should run some zone tonight.
I don't think I mentioned that more than, no. We did practice it 2 days, and we used it in one exhibition game. That's all. But international ball is different. You have to almost have to play man-to-man. Just too many good shooters.
Wow. Trenton Walters, speaking of good shooters.
They make 4 or 5 more of those shots, which they won't. They'd be in the game.
Tough teardrop. Caden Boozer, pretty.
That's really a good drive in transition, and to recognize that everybody's sort of playing him for the pass, and so you go right through and make a shot.
Caden's the leading scorer for Duke right now with 8. A lot of balance behind him. That's going to be a foul on young Caden.
Those are good fouls. That's an aggressive foul, trying to get to the ball. That's good. But, you know, what's the problem? Niagara's made a couple nice threes, and they're only down 30. I mean, you know, they're only down 24. And they're not playing that bad. You know, Duke is just too strong, too physical.
We asked Greg Paulus at shoot-around, what do you expect tonight? He just kind of laughed, and he's like, they're really good. We're going to try to play hard, maybe win a segment here and there, create some positive things on film. I think they got Howard tomorrow, and that's the game that I feel like they can really get. Walters, not this time.
But his guys are playing really hard.
Yeah.
Amenya gets clobbered. Walters shake. Duke by 24 here at Cameron Indoor. 8 of the 9 players who have taken the floor have scored, and Amenya has a couple assists despite not having any points so far.
But to get points, you have to shoot, and he's only taken 1 shot.
Well, the thing is nice is they have 9 guys, and they're all playing, and that's good.
What a pass that was. But you don't make that pass unless Malik Brown does a great job creating space 100%. Inside.
It's the receiver as much as the passer sometimes.
High percentage finish for Malik. That's an air ball and a rebound for Brown, and here comes Foster.
Another thing that this Duke team does really well is they get the ball out quickly on rebounds.
Malik Brown does that. He's really good at that. He just gets it and lets it go.
Talk about rooting out some space on the inside. Sabino had no chance in there. He's trying desperately to get around Brown, but that's really some pass, but it's a great job making yourself available for that pass.
I mean, these guys look for each other. That's what their first thought is, I think, from watching them play. They're big guys. Their first thought is to pass, and that's really almost completely opposite of what most big guys do. Their first thought is score. These guys are looking to pass and make a play out of it, which is, it's great for your teammates. It's a great chemistry thing for your team.
Cameron Boozer rebounds the miss, sets up Evans. And then you got his hand on it, but Niagara comes away.
Well, you're not going to make them all, but they continue to get wide open shots.
Wide open. If the nights they make a lot of them, it's going to be real hard.
Crazy is reminding Zonke of his air ball from that left wing earlier. Prudhomme trying to get it inside, nowhere really to go. Clock winding down. Hawkins to beat the buzzer, did not catch iron.
Well, Hawkins hadn't made any threes on the year. He's 0 for 3 coming in. His game is on the inside. But again, when Prudhomme's trying to drive the ball in there, Malik Brown steps in and totally disrupts the whole thing.
There's really no place to go there.
And there's been very little lackluster effort or any lapses from Duke in this first half.
None, really.
Coach, I know you expect your guys to play hard all the time, but in a game like this, when you're expecting a mismatch, do you build in a little all-new ESPN app? You guys know Hannah Hidalgo had, I think, 44 points and 16 steals in a game?
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
She is
that's
good.
Really
she is a good defender. She gets after it. Whoops.
It's a double dribble.
He did. He did. I didn't think he was going to catch it, but he caught him.
Gungbo with a little grin on his face, heading back down the floor.
Well, I think that's if you're a defender, that has to be the best thing that you can have is trying to Gungbo drive it down from the top of the key.
Absolutely.
Closing in on 2 minutes to play in the half. Duke shooting almost 60%. Niagara just 5 for 20, 25%. And that number dips as Page misses another three. Evans, beautiful move to the bucket.
And again, that's what he's doing this year. He's just not settling for threes. 2/3 of his shots are still threes, but he's doing a much better job getting the ball to the basket.
16 points on Tuesday at Madison Square Garden for Isaiah Evans.
Another guy that talks about leaving, and he stayed, and it's much better. He's going to be a much better player because of it.
Prudhomme for three.
Well, he's a very good three-point shooter. He comes in at 50%.
He hasn't had many good looks.
Boozer always looking to pass. Dame from the corner. Rebound is short. Little transition attack from the Purple Eagles. And it'll stay Niagara ball. Niagara about 25 minutes north of Buffalo, right along the U.S.-Canada border. First ever meeting in men's basketball between these two programs. Prudhomme zips it to the corner. Attacking Dame Sarr is a hard thing to do. Scott, with a decent matchup, or short rather, kicks it out. And a good rebound for Gungbo.
You got to make Duke pay for those switches, particularly when you get your 6'9" center on the inside matched up against the point guard. And of course, Foster's 6'5", so.
Yeah, I'm not sure who has the advantage there.
Great position for Cam Boozer.
And a great pass. A great catch in traffic as well.
Final seconds of the opening half. Zonke over Sarr. And Duke. Hey, Jim, what do you remember when Greg came to Syracuse to play his final season of college athletics at the Dome on the football field?
You know, he was really a good quarterback. We didn't have a good team, but he was a good quarterback. He had good numbers. After not playing since high school, he had really good numbers and did everything you want a quarterback to do. He didn't have enough help.
Orange under Paulus's stewardship went 4-8, but yeah, he had some skill.
Hey, when you haven't played since high school, that's amazing.
Yeah. Justin Hawkins trying to score inside. That has not been a winning recipe so far tonight for the Purple Eagles. Out of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Well, Hawkins still hasn't scored, and I think for Niagara to be at their best, he doesn't have to be their leading scorer, but he's got to be able to score inside.
Cameron Boozer about to take his first free throws of the night. Jim, I wanted to ask you about the transition from Coach K to John Shire. I mean, we've seen in a lot of different places. It's not always as natural as Duke has made it look.
You're replacing the best coach of our time, 1980 to now. By far the best coach of our time, and some say maybe forever. I don't think you can go by John Wooden, but he's the best of our era. And usually when you replace a guy like it just doesn't happen. But John Schreier, and the reason I think that Coach K wanted John Schreier in there, and it wasn't that easy, it wasn't a done deal, but he knew what kind of recruiter he was. He had his ear right there to the ground and knew where the players were. And when you get players like this, obviously it makes the transition easier, but he's also a very good coach. So now you have the best of both worlds, and that's hard to do in this kind of transition. UCLA looked for somebody to replace Coach Wooden, and they're still looking.
Right.
You know, that was 1975 because I was there at his last game. Hard to believe, but I was there 50 years ago. They've tried to get back since, and I don't think they'll never get to that.
Well, 41 consecutive years, Duke has had at least one McDonald's All-American join their team, which is a pretty incredible statistic.
Well, it helps you win games when you get those guys.
Think?
You know?
Now, when you have good players, that usually makes you a pretty good coach.
Especially when you get two or three of them at the same time.
Well, both Boozer brothers and Nicholas Hamenya were McDonald's All-American last year. Here's Gumbo in transition.
That's exactly what we're talking about. That time, they didn't switch. They double-teamed the screen. And Sarr, as soon as he picked the ball up, he's looking ahead and makes a great pass.
Yeah, and that's... When they double-team, you're talking 6'9", 6'11", double-teaming a 6'5". That's pretty hard to do.
Sarr rebounds the miss from Prudhomme.
Now there's a scrambling defense. There's an open shot, but it's a rushed shot.
Yeah, it's not easy to make those shots. They're under pressure the whole game.
Foster buries another.
And that's not a pressure shot.
In rhythm?
Absolutely.
You know, when you get up 40,
yeah, they're a little easier to make.
They're a little easier to make.
7 straight for the Blue Devils to start the second half. Largest lead of the night. It's 35 points. Shot clock winding down again. Extra pass to the corner. 3 won't fall. Boozer grabs the rebound. It's his 4th.
And outlets it to half court.
There's a lot of Kevin Love in Cameron Boozer, the way he throws those outlet balls.
Boozer and Malik Brown.
And the thing that makes that happen is the great job by Gungba getting out there and stopping the dribbler.
And then he gets down the court. He doesn't even hesitate.
And they move the ball on offense to get a wide open three.
Yeah. Evans, why not? 10 straight for Duke to start the second half.
When they make threes, they're very...
they're going to be hard to beat if they make threes like that.
Not many or any are going to beat them.
He was the greatest player in Niagara history, led him to the Sweet 16 in 1970. His greatest game ever was a 68-point game, December 7th, 68, against the Syracuse Orangemen.
I didn't guard him, and I wasn't on the team, but we held him to his lowest total, and then he got a little mad and had 68 against him. If he was playing tonight in his prime, he'd still get 40 against Duke. I'm telling you, that's how good he was.
At the time, 68 was a then NCAA D1 record. There's a nice possession out of the timeout for Greg Paulus's bunch.
Well, he played in the same era as Pistol Pete Maravich, and he was such a great scorer that he actually led the country in scoring over Pistol Pete Maravich one year.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal scorer. We double-teamed him every play, and the other three guys played zone, and he still averaged 45 against
well, that 68-69 season when he dropped 68, that was one of the few years where you weren't directly, you became an assistant the next year.
The next year, I had nothing to do with it.
You were busy playing for the Scranton Miners and the Apollos then, weren't you?
I was driving down to Scranton and playing in the wintertime. I didn't want to see any part of those games.
Did the Apollos run the 2-3?
We did not. We did not run the 2-3.
Well, then he struggled when he started as an assistant coach at Syracuse because he tried to recruit me.
Yeah, that was I was early and I didn't understand. Then when I saw Bonner play, I said, what was I recruiting him for? I got a little better in my recruiting after that, luckily.
Dan did tell me that you gave him a tour of the Syracuse campus. He said it was a really detailed, energetic tour.
Yeah, I mean, I was all right. I was starting out. I was young. We didn't get him, so obviously I wasn't that good at recruiting. But
obviously he was very good at recruiting because that set the stage for all the success he had later. I'm going to take some credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to practice, and then you get better players. We tried to recruit Jay Billis, and I tell Jay all the time, we really wanted you. We just couldn't get you in school. It was, Of course, Jay doesn't like it when I say that. But he had a role at Duke, too. He took the ball out of bounds and stayed out of Johnny Dawkins and Mark Ellery's way. Just let them do the work that they needed to do.
That's right. For the Hall of Famer Jim Boeheim, the great Dan Bonner, Evan Lepler with you from Cameron Indoor Stadium in Durham.
Adam, what did you do with the ACC network people to get stuck with two of the oldest people in the business? I mean, you must have really got somebody upset up there.
It is a privilege to be alongside such knowledge and experience, charisma.
Is that how you wrote it, Dan? Is that what you wrote for him?
Well, I'm going to check here.
Style.
I think you got a couple of words wrong.
Did you call me Adam, by the way? It's Evan.
No, I would never do that.
Evan.
I never would do that unless I was thinking of Adam Shine, a notable Syracuse graduate who talk radios it.
Here's Page on the drive. Kicks it out, Sabino. Loose ball out of bounds to Duke. 15-15 to play. The Duke Blue Devils on their way to 6-0. Neo Abdallas in Blacksburg has been special for Mike Young.
There's a ton of freshmen in the league and in the country, and that's why one of the reasons college basketball is better. The other one, all the guys coming back, and the other one, all the international players who came over because they make so much more money here than they can in Europe.
Abdallas is one of those guys. When you look at some of these marquee wins, Kansas has been on the wrong side of a couple. I was really impressed with Louisville against Kentucky, although the Wildcats have some issues right now. No issues for Duke at the moment. Malik Brown adds 2 more to his total.
Well, you can't really overstate for the ACC in terms of the number of teams they might get into the NCAA tournament. It was a struggle last year because the conference teams simply didn't perform very well in the non-conference portion of the schedule.
100%. Wake Forest could have had 2 monster wins.
Yep.
And they just missed out. I mean,
1 point loss to Michigan and Detroit. 1 point loss to Texas Tech last night in the Bahamas. Caden Boozer has knocked down a bunch of open good looks tonight.
He's been able to get those open good looks because Duke is doing a great job drawing the defense and kicking it back for scores.
You can't overemphasize that, Dan. It's just really good penetration, passing, looking for each other.
And with a guy like Evans, Jim, you got to play him for his 3 so he can go by you if you're not really careful.
No question.
Evans, surprised he missed it, but it comes right back to him. Extra pass to Harris. Evans will create a 3rd chance. Hemenya will try and hit.
And now everybody who's played for Duke has scored.
6th 3 of the season for Hemenya. Niagara's barely looking for points in the paint, but Walters, when he's got a little bit of daylight, he's knocked him down.
What's that, his 5th 3 tonight?
Yeah, he's 5 for 10.
They're really moving the ball well, and they got 27 points. When you don't make any layups and you don't get to the foul line, it's hard to score a lot of points.
Hemenya, same spot, same result.
What a pass.
Totally unselfish. Duke.
And now 12 for 23 from beyond the arc. 5 of 8 since halftime. And another line change with Gungba, Foster, and Sarr all coming back in off John Shire's bench.
Well, these are the type of games, and this is the time of the season where you sort of have to blend things together, and you got to play the guys to see what they can do and how they blend together. I mean, there's a lot of really good players here, and it's going to be, it's always a challenge to keep all your players happy.
Always. That's why these games are good. Everybody plays.
Jim, as the Blue Devils get into conference play, you think John can continue to play 9 guys?
Oh, I mean, he'll play them. He will, play a couple guys, Cameron Boozer, probably Bonga. They'll probably play more, but the other guys will play. But those 2 guys will be in more, I think. And it depends who else, Evans or who else is playing well. It's hard to play 9. 7 or 8 is 8's good. But they don't have a lot else either. They got 9. They're trying the zone just to see. I think they did it because I'm here. No.
They might have.
No, they play it a little bit.
Nobody stopped the ball. Boozer missed the layup. Gungba there to clean it up, and he'll go back to the line. Well, Duke had 5 different guys make a 3 in the first half, and here in the second half, Nicholas Hemenya joined the scoring party. Back-to-back 3s for the Los Angeles native. Duke rolling. The upcoming schedule right now, like we are, but these are some of the high-profile opponents that the Blue Devils have to come in the months and weeks ahead.
Well, Dan said it right. There's 2 or 3 Final Four teams there. Florida, Michigan State, Michigan, those 3, and Arkansas and Texas Tech are good. So obviously Duke is going to be tested going into the conference.
Wow. I mean, seriously, that's
probably as tough of 5 games as you can really get, in college basketball.
On Thanksgiving, they'll play the Razorbacks in Chicago. And then Florida will be here for the ACC-SEC Challenge in early December.
That will be some game.
Going back to Madison Square Garden to take on Texas Tech. Duke will put its current winning streak at MSG on the line. They've won 9 straight in the world's most famous arena, including Tuesday in the Champions Classic over Kansas. That's well done, and more points in the paint, which have come sparingly tonight for the Purple Eagles.
That is the first time we have seen Niagara break down the Duke defense like that.
And get a layup.
There's great dribble penetration. Duke did not rotate or switch effectively that time. That's the first time we've seen that all night long.
What's the coaching point from that possession defensively so it doesn't happen again?
I think it is, don't worry about it, because it only happened once this game.
Foul on Dame Sarr in transition. It's his first.
You got to credit Niagara. They continue to try to move the ball, and it's not very often they've been able to get out and get passed out on the perimeter.
And Sarr didn't get back in on the weak side to help, but, you know, again, he's new to this country.
Boy, he's long and athletic and talented, though. Boy,
he is.
Been playing since he was 6 years old in Italy. Went to a basketball academy when he was 13, 14. And here's good hands. Foster the steal. Boozer the flush.
And their big guys really run.
Dozen points now for Cam. Unable to finish, but free throws coming for the Croatian Vica Zonki after he turned it over the previous possession.
It's always great when you're going down the court and you look behind you and there's your big guy right there.
They all get up the court. You can't make mistakes against this team. They're going to turn them into basket dunks usually.
Zonki has been very quiet tonight, and I think he's going to be a key guy. This is an interesting roster construction. Greg Pullis has 9 new guys.
Yep.
4 of them are junior college transfers. 3 of them are Division II transfers. There's 1 freshman, and Zonki is the lone D1 transfer. He played at Eastern Washington, where 65% of his shots were threes, but he hadn't had any opportunities tonight.
When you're at Niagara and you have a good player like they had last year, a couple, they're gone. They're gone to bigger schools. You can't blame the players, but you have to start over every year, and you have no money to do it. It's not easy.
Preseason favorite in the MAAC this year is Quinnipiac. Of course, Jerry McNamara's Siena Saints were the preseason pick second.
Yeah, they're good. I think he's got a team that can win that conference.
He's taken a couple of threes. We said 65% of his shots at Eastern Washington were from 3. In fact, this year, that's still his percentage, but he's airballed a couple tonight.
Well, he was 6 for 11 from 3 in his last 2 games, and he's missed the rim and missed everything for 2 of his 3 shots tonight. Boozer.
He might have got a second shot blocked. I don't know. He's going to think about that. His father's going to say something to him.
Not going to think about it too hard, though.
His father will probably kid him a little bit about it.
So it's early, and these types of comparisons can be a little absurd. But if you're curious, the first 5 games of Zion Williamson versus the first 5 games of Cameron Boozer. Here come the numbers.
Pretty close, if we get him up there.
Zion has the edge in field goal percentage. He dunked it a handful of times, I recall. But points, rebounds, assists, check mark go to Cam Boozer.
Certainly is no complaints about the start for his career here.
Well, Zion was so good he got layups. So he shot 70% on 10 layups, 7 for 10. But you couldn't keep him out of there. And you can't really when he's healthy in the NBA. He's so physical. Boozer Cameron does a few more other things, and he's obviously been healthy.
Jim, didn't you have a guy who took a couple charges against Zion courageously?
I have one guy, 185 pounds, took a full court charge.
Yeah, who was that? I forget.
Marek Dolaja.
That's right.
Which I couldn't pronounce his name until his senior year. But he took one right here at the foul line. He ended up in the section under the basket, and his whole front was black and blue for a week. But as he said to me, he said, Coach, we won. And we did. We won the game. So I said, yeah, okay, but don't ever step in front of him again.
What would be the difference for preparing a team to play against Cam Boozer at the top of the scouting report versus Zion at the top of the scouting report?
Zion, you just would pray that he would shoot a jump shot because you can't stop him. Boozer, you can bother a little bit under the basket when as good as he is. But Zion, no. We actually beat them with Zion, and when he was out that year, the second game in Syracuse, they beat us.
He was a force of nature when he's on the floor healthy. Unfortunately, has been far too little. 2 free points there for Dame Sarr.
Well, Dame Sarr gets them, but the guy who kept the ball alive was Malik Brown.
He does that a lot.
Well, he does. And
here's a deflection for Dame Sarr. No look pass. Foster for 3. Malik Brown keeps it alive.
I think Brown is going to be such a key component for them as the season goes on. They're really going to need to keep him healthy.
He was not hurt. He's been hurt both years here, so
Gungba going to the line.
You just hope he's healthy because the little things he does are so important to winning basketball games. I mean, you don't notice it that much, but it's just the tip ball, the secondary pass, the outlet pass, helping on defense, being there all the time. Those things they add up, and they don't always show in the box score, but Coach knows. Coach Shire's talking before the game. That's one of his main points. We got to keep Malik Brown healthy this year.
Gungba is 9 for 9 from the line. Now, I hope I didn't just jinx him.
Well, if you did, you will be paid the price that all announcers have to pay. You have to take us out to dinner.
I can do that.
And you did.
Oh, my goodness.
And you did.
I apologize.
We're going to the steakhouse. We're not going to McDonald's.
Well, he's 9 for 10, but I'm telling you, that is such a weapon to have a big guy who can shoot free throws.
Very, very important.
Mike Jaminski-esque. He was a really good free throw shooter when he played here.
Well, he was a very good shooter, period.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants to prove. He heard you that 0 for 7. Now he's got one. I told you I could shoot, is what he said.
14 for Gungba.
I'm still okay if I'm the opponent with him shooting from out there.
Oh, 100%.
That's Niagara's 16th turnover. And we'll get ourselves a timeout. Gungba missed the free throw, but he's on the board from 3 to the delight of his head coach.
Probably not.
Here at Drive Town, we approve 99% of people who apply. I got approved! With no credit hit.
Yes, show her thousands of amazing car options.
Blue Hens of Delaware, take on the Wake Forest
The Huns.
Deacons. They're coming in fierce. Duke in North Carolina in Chapel Hill at Kenan Stadium at 3:30. And then the game for the 128th time, Cal and Stanford. The final game in the triple-header. It all begins with a huddle at 10 a.m. on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
See, Dan, I thought Evan would never make a mistake. He did. He made one.
That was your first mistake right there, was thinking.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But maybe people would be more intimidated by them if their name were the Huns.
The Blue Huns.
The Blue Huns, absolutely. I like that.
Warriors.
The Huns might not like it, though, and the name would not be allowed.
Shot clock winding down. Hawkins turnaround over Gungba, comes up short, and Hemenya has the rebound.
Now in the MAAC, Hawkins will make that shot.
Do you think he's going to be happy to leave behind Bunga and Boozer and not have to ever see them again?
Well, I tell you what, I think he would like to see them at least one more time, and that's in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
But this is just, I mean, what Greg Paulus is trying to do at Niagara is just very interesting in terms of, you know, what he's dealing with. You mentioned the lack of funds, another great move by Gungba. But everybody's, you know, you look around these other schools, there's all these transfers from other major schools. Well, he's got guys from junior college and D2.
That's what he has to do. He
Now,
doesn't have money.
It has been proven that guys from D2 can play. Bennett Schertz, you know, proved that to everybody.
Mm-hmm. But that's the exception.
You used to call the D2 tournament, right?
I did 14, 15 Division II Elite Eights. And I mean, there's really good players in D2.
Career high 17 for Patrick Gungba II.
Good players and really good coaches in Division II.
Page, tough shot.
And I think you could say that all night long. Tough shot. That's what they've been dealing with. I think to their credit, though, they're still out there playing incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no give up. There's no fall off. They're trying to execute. They're trying to run their stuff. And on the other side, Duke's still playing hard and trying to stop them every play.
While the score has really never been close, it was 13-3, 15-3 early. It's been a pretty compelling, entertaining, back and forth, up and down game.
Yeah, I mean, you watch Duke play, it's fun to watch them. They got a lot of good players. They know how to play. It's fun to watch the game.
Sure is.
Prudhomme that time was able to take advantage of Hemenya. You know, Hemenya just not quick enough there in the transition.
This Duke team back in action on Sunday against the Howard Bison, led by another Duke alum, Kenny Blakeney. Nate James also on that Howard staff. And on Monday on ACC Network, Pat Kelsey's Louisville Cardinals hosting Eastern Michigan at 7 o'clock.
And of course, Evan, we will be right back here with you on Sunday.
Looking forward to it.
But we will go to El Toro Pizza again before Sunday because it's the best pizza in the South.
It was incredibly delicious today, Jim. It's your spot, and you've done well.
Who would think you could? Whoa.
Chance for a 4-point play for Isaiah Evans.
Who would ever think you could find a great pizza place in Durham, North Carolina?
Now, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
No, I mean, it's unlikely. Not impossible.
You know, Greensboro is just an hour drive away if you want to check out some of their fine dining
They have a great
establishments.
place possibilities there. I've changed my whole tune. I'm very and by the way, when I said that 100 years ago about Greensboro, I was joking, but I guess
The reporters didn't take that. Do you feel you have mellowed, quote, in retirement, unquote?
I spoke at Greensboro's main banquet like 3 or 4 years ago, and they all applauded, so I might be forgiven.
How many pitchforks did you see while you were there?
No, don't go there. Don't go there.
Great to be sharing the crow's nest with Jim Boeheim, Dan Bonner.
Yeah,
vantage point unlike any other in college hoops.
And nobody wants to be in this vantage either. It's not that easy. It's a hard walk down.
Well, there used to be a ladder. Now there's a stairwell, so you're getting off easy.
Well, it's a hard walk down, but Isaac Newton at least helps you with that. It's harder going up.
Yeah, no doubt.
That was the first old man comment from you two tonight. Done a good job staying away from that. Complaining about the stairs. Come on, gentlemen.
If I was young, I would complain.
These are great athletes.
I would complain about it if I was young. It's not an easy walk up here. Come on. just because you play pickleball.
Jim, you were telling us about your squash sensational abilities earlier today.
First of all, nobody listening knows what squash is, so don't go there.
How about Ifeanyi Ufuchuku for 2?
Squash.
That is, you know, he caught the ball well inside. He's not going to play very much this year, but Hamenya really made a nice pass.
The block. They're going to count the basket. For the moment, Duke created its largest lead of the season at 57. Very close.
Well, it's just, it's hard to take a charge anymore. And I like that. You know, you have to have your position, your defensive position established before the shooter plants the foot before going airborne.
I would like it to be out of the game. I would like to be a foul every time on the defensive player. Try to block it, try to make a play, but don't just stand there and try to get run over. I think it's the worst play in basketball, and it should get it out of the game.
Hamenya for 3.
I think he got some confidence tonight.
Things are always easier when the ball's going in the basket.
But it does help you a little bit confidence-wise when you're a freshman to make something.
Matched his season high tonight with 9. Hawkins turned away by Ufuchuku.
Ufuchuku could be a valuable player for them once you get into the tough games.
Nigerians got size, got experience, transfer from Rice.
I can't believe we didn't use ZocDoc to book a couples therapist sooner.
And this therapist will take our terrible insurance.
Oh, well, people say that Eva Brooks makes them feel comfortable.
First points of the night for Ifeanyi Ufuchuku. Previously scored in the Western Carolina game a couple weeks ago. Niagara's going to play tomorrow on this court against Howard, the team that Duke will play on Sunday. It's an interesting MTE that they've created here with the Brotherhood.
Yeah, it is, but it's going to be really hard for Niagara to try to get over this and come back tomorrow. But they've kept playing. They played the whole game. They're still playing. And, you know, Duke just doesn't have bad players to put out there against them.
From a Ken Pom ranking standpoint, Niagara's 316, Howard's 320 coming into today, so it should be a good game.
Yeah, I think so. Niagara's just got to get over the hangover real quick. It's not good when you get beat by 50-some.
Duke's going to improve to 6-0. Another bad miss for Zaki. Jack Scott, can he find his offense? Nope, not this time. Scott, the transfer from Princeton, grew up in Colorado Springs, Colorado, beautiful place. Scott's got himself a rebound. The crowd wants Scott to score. Instead, he'll zip it outside. Cameron Sheffield unable to connect.
I think Scott was a pretty good player at Princeton, but he doesn't fit here the way he plays.
Chance for a three-point play for Will Short, the Australian, but he also says he hails from New Zealand. He was born in Australia, but he kind of considers himself a Kiwi. It's a little confusing.
I've always wanted to go to New Zealand, but it's just too far away right now. That was Al McGuire's favorite place. He would go there every summer and ride his bike around the country.
You were coaching in the Sydney Olympics, though, right? No? I don't know what year was which.
No, that was way long ago. Come on. No. I started in 2008 in China.
That's right. Beijing.
Beijing, London, and Rio.
But China's not across the street either.
No, that was a long trip, trust me. Once I did it, but that was to try to help win an Olympic gold medal. That's okay. I didn't go for a tourist.
How was the pizza in Beijing?
Pizza Hut right next door.
Pizza Hut's a fancy
My
spot
kids
in
were
China.
8 years old. They went there every night for dinner in China. That's where they ate dinner every night. They were 8 and 6.
Now they're playing pro basketball.
Now they're playing overseas and in the G League. Loving basketball. It's really not fun.
What if you're on the right side of it? Is it fun then?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, winning's fun anyway. Absolutely. But not when you're on the wrong side of these things.
Two-shot foul here. Niagara's got one more.
I think your point's a good one, though, Jim. This is a Niagara team they've been made to look really bad today, but they're not that bad.
No, they're not.
Duke is really good, and you don't want this one loss to become two because you're playing a team that's more your equal.
And it's going to be hard. I think it'll be hard. I hope they can do it. But Howard's rested. They're going to come in all ready to go. I mean, you got to give the edge to Howard, even if Niagara's a little bit better team.
Second three of the season for Jack Scott as he gets in the scorebook too.
Well, that's a foul. You can't just jump on top. Ufachukwu, I mean, he hadn't played that long, but he's already got 3 fouls. Two. That's 2 fouls.
No, that's number 3. You were right.
Okay.
I think they're playing on him in emergencies at the backup center. But they probably will need him.
When they're playing against Michigan in a dime Mara, they could use those extra fouls. New Division I program in Minnesota.
Nobody even knows where it's in Minnesota. And you probably didn't either until the game. Remember when it used to be an 88-game home winning streak, or 50 or 60? That's hard to do.
Duke about to be 51-4 in this building under John Shire. John's going to improve to 95-22 since taking over for Coach K. Sheffield, can he join the party? Yes, sir!
Well, he forced his way in there.
Wasn't pretty, but it's 2.
Scored over 500 points in 3 seasons at Rice. And he'll remember that basket for a long time.
Well, think about this now. They're trying to put a team together, but they've got a guy who was a good player in Scott in the Ivy League, a veteran guy. He's coming in here as basically a practice and bench player. They've got Ufachukwu, who transferred in too, who was a solid player, and he's basically a bench player. And you've got Sheffield, a guy who scored 500 points. I think that says something about the depth of your talent.
And it's also says something about the whole transfer portal thing. And they may be perfectly happy, but you could go someplace where you could play the whole game.
Amenya, one more.
He's gained a lot of confidence tonight.
And it's an even 100 for the Blue Devils. Scott the rebound, the shot clock is off. And a pretty good Friday night 58-point win for Duke.
Pretty impressive.
Really impressive.